The council meeting open 27th of May 2026. I'd like to hand over to Councillor Doyle for the acknowledgement of country, being Reconciliation Week.
Yet Mount Isa City Council acknowledges the Kalkadoon and the Injilingji people, traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today.
Thanks, Councillor Doyle. Please note this ordinary meeting of the Mount Isa City Council will be live streamed and recorded in accordance with Council's recording of council meetings policy. As a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. By remaining in chambers, it is assumed your consent is given if your image is inadvertently broadcast. For the prayer today, we have Father Mick Lowcock from the Good Shepherd Catholic Parish, so I'd like to hand over to Father Mick. He's got a microphone. Just so we can hear on the live stream.
You sure?
I can't see.
Lights on, yep. Thank you, Councillor Coglan. Just like to thank the Council for the opportunity on behalf of the Mount Isa Council of Christian Churches, especially in this Reconciliation Week, and congratulate them too on the work they're doing in that whole area of their rap and everything else. I think it's really important for people to feel really included. Today I'd like to just concentrate on peace in our world. So a couple of little quotes from the Bible, from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 54:10. Though the mountains may be shaken, the hills removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. And also John chapter 14:27, peace I leave you here, Jesus said, my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. And so let us pray for peace in our world, not just because of our own interests, because of cost of fuel or whatever, but especially for people who are displaced and people who have suffered immensely as a result of all the war that's happened in their countries. Pray for peace in Australia, especially this Reconciliation Week and National Sorry Day. Pray for peace in our homes, especially in DV month, May, where we have some of the highest stats in the state for domestic violence. Pray for peace in our hearts, for restlessness, for looking for more, and the anger that is caused by people living in isolation. Pray for peace within the City Council workforce. Peace in the hearts of all the councillors as you gather here today, that you make the good decisions for our community. Just like to finish with the peace prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. A divine Master, grant that I might not so much seek to be consoled, but to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive, in pardoning that we are pardoned, it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. And so may God bless your decisions today and every day as you work for our community. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father Mick.
Thank you.
St. Francis, that's a very special prayer. And just on behalf of Council, thank you for all you do in the community, Father Mick. You work very hard for our community. So we have apologies and leave of absence. I'd just like to note that the Mayor is on live stream. Now, sorry. Just bear with me, my computer's playing up.
T, what are you doing? Lucky it's
Oh,
on
yeah,
air.
okay, sorry. So we have public participation. A casual for a cause. Every Friday we do casual for a cause day. Our workers are in ordinary clothes, not uniform, and they give donations. During the month of April, Mount Isa City Council staff raised $2,001.95 for the International Nurses Day and International Midwives Day. Hey? I said 201, did I?
2,000.
You said
Oh,
2,000.
2,000. Oh, my
Rest is
God,
donated
everyone's
by the
jumping up and
deputy.
down. Sorry.
Just come out of Tim's bill. Out of Tim's.
$201.95 for the International Nurses Day and the International Midwives Day through the Casual for a Cause initiative. We were getting 2 representatives from the hospital, but unfortunately they had to, they aren't able to be here today, but we will make sure that they get that check to them. And on to number 5, we have confirmation of the previous council minutes.
Yeah.
I'd like to recommend that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 29th of April 2026 be confirmed as a true and correct record. Have you got anyone to second that?
I'll second it.
It's Councillor Crowther. All those in favour? That one's carried. Yeah, it's coming up, isn't it? Oh, isn't it? So now we have public participation. We have one person here for public participation. We have Mr. Bolger and Peter. You have asked for the easement between Kokoda Road and Finchhaven Street. I think we have answered this question quite a few times, that it's not council to do, it's a state issue. I'm just wondering, have you brought this up with our state member, Mr. Robbie Catter? Well, that would probably be on me. I'm sorry, I didn't, because I did answer you I can remember answering you in the last time that I spoke. I was taking over the chair and I did let you know, and I thought that would be sufficient. So my apologies for not following it up with a letter, but it is actually state land, and we are having a lot of trouble getting money out of the state they have a lot of land in Mount Isa that they don't maintain properly, so that would probably be very good if you did go to Robbie Catter, because many voices might make a little bit more work get done. Okay. No worries. Could I throw to the director there to see if we have any plans or you know of anything that the state government are doing?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. The Works and Operations team have been engaging with the Department of Natural Resources and providing some quotes to undertake that work on their behalf. They haven't engaged us yet, though.
Okay. Rightio.
Could I ask when you last wrote to them?
The latest update I had was late last week.
Last week?
Late last week was the last update I had on that project, yeah.
No, I appreciate you keeping us on our toes with that one because they do it. All the areas around town, I mean, they are breeding grounds for mosquitoes, snakes, and rats and vermin. So it is important that we work in with the state government, but they need to come forward with the dollars.
Through,
No, unfortunately, they're a bit slow giving the money to us to do jobs like that, so I don't know what the problem is. But Councillor Tully?
I just, through the deputy, I just think it's been an issue for a long time when state governments don't fund our works that we're going to complete for them. So I think it's not a new problem that we have. I think it's a problem that's been around Queensland for a long time, and I mean we just keep doing it. And you and Pete going to the state member, you know, might try and hurry the show along a little bit.
We might get some action, so... Rightio, thank you very much, Peter, once again. Now I forgot what I was up to, 6.1?
6-1.
6.1. I deviated a bit there, I'm sorry. Go on to 6.1.
You want me to do that?
Yep, I haven't got it up, sorry.
You're right. I'll just move that council receives and notes the outstanding actions from the previous council meetings as of 22nd of May 2026.
Do I have a seconder?
Second of Tully.
Seconded, Councillor Tully. All those in favour? Carried. Number 7, declarations of conflicts of interest. Have I got any councillors that have a conflict of interest? Madam Mayor?
I declare a conflict in 12.4 to do with sponsorship and Zonta. I'm on the executive committee for Zonta, so I'll stay online, but I just won't be voting on that.
Thank you. That be noted. I'll now go on. I'll pass over to Mayor McRae for the mayoral minute.
Thanks for bearing with me, everyone. I'm able to chair today. Each attending Bush councils fitted into being on a panel, and the topic of discussion was the importance of regional events to regional economy. So that was really worthwhile for all the councils that were here. I also had the opportunity to catch up with Bob Dredge, the cross-border commissioner. I had a side meeting with him as a follow-up from our liquor accord meeting last week that many of you attended, and he's going to be coming out to visit us later in the year. I was also able to meet with Andrew Cripps, the Commissioner for Rural and Remote. He's only been appointed to that position recently, and it's great to chat with him because he's saying all the things that we want to hear in terms of trying to get regional decisions moved back to closer to where they are fair. So we've talked, well in the past about, decisions being eroded from our area when they've moved to councils such as the Education Department, and that's just one example. So it's good to hear that there's a push to try and get all of those government departments back out into the region. So I'll be looking forward to further conversations about that. I think since our last meeting, we've had some terrific... I was really pleased with the way everyone worked towards getting Connect Northwest, the Critical Minerals Lunch and Outback Sounds happening. I think the community really enjoyed all of those events and look forward to similar in the future as well. And obviously everyone, the team at council's been working really hard on budget. We'll be passing that down on the 17th of June, so I guess we'll make more comment about that at the time. But thank you, that's my mayoral minute.
Thank you, Mayor McRae. We have number 10, we have executive service reports, which are nil, so we'll go forward to 11, corporate services reports, and I will hand over to Councillor Ballard.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend that Council receives and accepts the April 2026 Finance Overview Report as presented.
Do I have a seconder?
Second of Tully.
Councillor Ballard.
As we move towards the end of financial year, we're seeing the usual timing impacts coming through in the numbers, particularly around revenue and capital works. Operating revenue is currently tracking under budget, largely due to timing differences in water billing and the receipt of grant funding. These are expected to normalise as we close out the financial year. Despite this though, Council continues to report a positive operating position despite some pressure on revenue, and the underlying financial position remains very stable. Importantly, our cash position remains very strong, sitting at approximately 58 million, which gives Council close to 9 months of operating cover, which places us in a really resilient position as we face a lot of situations of uncertainty and volatility. Sustainability ratios remain mixed. While our liquidity and operating performance are strong, the asset sustainability ratios continue to be below target, highlighting the ongoing challenge of maintaining our infrastructure, particularly in the water and sewerage area. Capital expenditure is also behind budget at this stage, with works continuing to progress. As we near year end, we expect to see further movement as those projects are completed. I'd like to highlight the ongoing work in rates recovery. There's now 230 active payment plans in place, which demonstrates strong engagement with ratepayers and a proactive approach to managing outstanding balances. I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the work that is going into the preparation of our upcoming budget. The executive management team, and in particular Kelvin Tidley and his team in corporate services, have put a significant amount of work into this process. We are operating in a period of ongoing uncertainty, with a number of external factors creating volatility that can impact Council's operations. It's clear that a great deal of effort has gone into managing those risks and preparing a responsible and sustainable budget. Finally, overall, while there are some timing variances, Council's financial position remains sound, with strong cash reserves, low debt levels and disciplined cost control.
Would anyone else like to speak? All those in favour? Go to 11.2.
I'd like to recommend that Council receives and accepts the April 2026 Mount Isa City Council Departmental Business Units Finance Overview Report as presented.
Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Thank you.
Councillor Ballard?
Overall, the report shows that most areas are tracking reasonably close to budget when timing differences are taken into account. Executive Services performance is essentially on budget, with only a very minor variance which reflects good financial management across that area. In Community Services, income is currently below budget, largely due to the timing of grant receipts and lower than expected income from some council business units. At the same time, expenditure in this area is above budget, particularly across council-run facilities such as Splashes, Buchanan Park and the Civic Centre. Some of the variances appear more pronounced at this point in the year, but are largely driven by timing and the operational nature of those facilities. It's important to remember that these facilities are not intended to operate as commercial businesses. They're community assets that deliver important social and livability benefits, and some level of operating deficit is expected. Corporate Services expenditure is below budget, which demonstrates continued strong cost control across the organisation. Infrastructure Services income is currently below budget, again largely due to the timing of grant funding, while expenditure is generally close to budget overall, noting some variation across areas. Overall, the report reflects a combination of timing impacts and the expected performance of Council's community-focused business units, with no significant issues identified at this stage.
Do I have anyone else that would like to speak on the issues? All those in favour? That one's carried. 11.3, Dan Ballard.
I'd like to recommend that Council adopts the financial year 2026-27 revenue policy as presented.
Do I have a seconder?
Second, Tully.
This is a statutory policy the Council is required to adopt each financial year under the local government regulation. The policy sets out the principles Council uses in the levying and recovery of rates and charges, as well as how we approach fees, concessions and developer contributions. There are only minor changes from last year, mainly relating to updated dates and routine legislative requirements. The policy continues to be guided by key principles such as fairness, transparency and a user pays approach, while also recognising the need to balance affordability for ratepayers and the delivery of services to the community. It also provides Council with the framework required to raise revenue in a consistent and equitable way as part of the upcoming budget process.
Thank you, Councillor Ballard. All those in favour? That one's carried. Go to 12.1. I'd like to recommend that council receives and accepts the Splashes quarterly report as presented. Do I have a seconder?
Coghlan.
The report is as presented. Just one thing that's not in the report, it's great to see that we have got the new lifeguard uniforms that are a lot more brighter, and I think a lot more children, when they are at the pool, will be able to easily recognise our lifeguards, so it's good to see them. I don't know when they're actually getting rolled out because it is getting quite cold, so we're not at the pool a lot. In the winter we'll do a lot of maintenance and check all the moving parts of the pool to make sure everything is going to be up and ready for going into the summer season. Would anyone else like to speak on this one? All those in favour? That one's carried. Go to 12.2, councillor Crowther.
Yeah, I'll just move that council approves the tourism and marketing quarterly report as presented.
Second at Tully.
Councillor Crowther.
Just going through, obviously they're just reporting on what's been completed, what's on target, so we can sort of see that we've had the Queensland Music Festival. Sort of, it was a good boost to the early start for the tourism season. We're going to see it slow tourism season, so the more little events we can put on throughout this cooler months, it'll be sort of help us towards trying to boost that tourism season. Obviously, they'll be starting to promote the Mount Isa Rodeo, the Mount Isa Visitor Guide, some other initiatives with the Big Sky Drive, as well as they're implementing and getting updated on the events website, which is in development now. So again, we'll sort of get a collaboration so we get all the events under one sort of marketing banner. They've been heavily promoting a lot of the upcoming events. So obviously, we've got the Deputy Mayor's favourite, the ABBA Thanks for the Music, coming up soon, all together with the Opera Queensland, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, as well as In Excessive and the In Excess Tribute Show, and Matt Hale the Hypnotist. So you can see that there's a lot of reasons to be sort of coming to Mount Isa for tourists as well as for the locals.
Thank you, councillor Crowther. All those in favour?
Just
Oh, sorry.
through the deputy, just on Pete's over in Longridge, you know, they're promoting the Outback with fuel and everything, but I think the GST's coming back on the 1st of July, so I just like Pete, while she's over there, to really hammer that and see if we can get an extension on that, because 30 cents is going to make a massive difference to a retiree moving throughout the Outback. So I'd just like you, I don't know whether you used to board it up out there, Pete, at the in Longridge, but I think it's something that we really should be looking at and getting in front of the ball.
Thanks, councillor Tully. I think the excise?
Yes, it is. The excise gets not the excess.
Yep, there was a lot of discussion about that on the panel yesterday to do with tourism, because they feel that numbers are only just starting to pick up now, and that excise coming back on will have a big impact on that.
Yeah.
And also Bob G, he's going to be presenting later on today. He's actually not only the cross-border commissioner, but also the commissioner for, I think, fuel security and diesel at the moment. So I'll probably have more updates later on today after that session.
No, that's good. I just wanted to bring it up while you're over there, that's all, because I think it's going to, 30 cents on a litre is going to make a big impact. So just like to keep a foot on the pedal about that one.
Thanks for that update, Mayor McRae. All those in favour? That one's carried. 12.3, councillor Crowther.
Yeah, I'll just move that council receives and accepts the council events and entertainment facilities quarterly report as presented.
Do I have a seconder?
Ballard.
Councillor Crowther.
Yep, as again, they're just going through the report. It's just highlighting all the different events that have been happening at Civic Centre, Buchanan Park, and in the greater areas as well. So obviously we've had events like the Winmark International Women's Day at the Civic Centre, going through Australian Citizenship Ceremony held on the 29th of April. We saw 50 new citizens, 12 of whom were children. The Anzac Day services held at Camberwell Air Mount Isa. So there's, as you can see, there's events happening. They've been very busy. There's a lot of more events coming up. So sort of just keep on the websites and the Facebook pages to see all the different events that have been coming up.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on that? All those in favour? It's carried. 12.4, councillor Crowther. Oh, Mayor McRae?
Yeah, I'll just jump off for that one.
I'll just move that council approves the sponsorship of the Zonta Club of Mount Isa in the amount of $5,000 as per sponsorship request for the 2026 Zonta Rodeo Queen Quest Ball to be held at the Mount Isa Mines Entertainment Centre.
Have a seconder?
Second and Tully.
Would you like to speak on that one?
It's out of rounds request, but it's just had to sort of get in line with when the event was going to be held. So they're doing it great for the community, so I can't see really a reason why we can't support them in this. And it's quite a small amount as well for what they'll present for the Queen Quest.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sorry.
Up to you.
I was just saying it might be a timely opportunity to give a special mention to all of those Queen Quest entrants and to thank them for all the work that they're doing in the community. It's a really important quest. It's an integral part of the annual rodeo, and a lot of work goes in from all the various parties. So thanks to everyone that's getting behind those entrants and for the work they're doing.
Thanks, Councillor Ballard.
Through the deputy, I totally agree with what Dan just said, and I think the applicants this year are going to be very, very helpful to the Mount Isa Rodeo. They're right behind us, and look like they're going to be a massive help to us.
Thank you. All those in favour? That one's carried. I'll just let the Mayor to get back on. I've sent her a message. I'll just wait for her to get in. I just would like to say the maroon is really standing out today. I thought you would all wear your maroon. Doyle, you should wear your old uniform.
My son's wearing it to school.
Oh, there you go. Just, okay. She has been having trouble this morning, so we'll just keep going. And 12.5, I'll hand over to you, Councillor
Yep.
Doyle.
Just that council approved the installation of a 500 by 400 millimetre excuse me, plaque on the retaining wall of the Western Grandstand at Calcadoon Arena, Buchanan Park, and at the expense of Mount Isa Pro Rodeo Limited, and that council approved naming the Western Spectator Hill nearest the administration building, the Edna Jessup Hill, at the expense of Mount Isa Pro Rodeo Limited.
Seconded.
Do I have a seconder for
Yeah,
that?
I'll second that.
Would anyone else like to speak on this one?
I'll just a bit of background. I'm not too sure. Most people in Mount, I know all the councils do, but just for a bit of an overview for the public, is Edna Jessup's a magnificent sort of icon in the Mount Isa Rodeo Arena and drove in the era of Mount Isa. So it's just something that's been put forward to the rodeo, and thank you for the council supporting that recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Tully. Anyone else like to speak on that
Just-
one?
Just quickly on the options that were provided there, I think just with continuity, I think like that option sort of 2 and 3 sort of would probably stand out a lot better than sort of option 1, because I think it's a bit hidden there with that where they got that plaque placement for that option 1. So I think they probably should be considering sort of options 2 and 3 there. Or that they
We've
got
already got a motion on the...
yeah, but I don't know. It's just a bit confusing with the motion that they sort of have those 3 options then when the. So. But yeah,
So you doing an amendment to the motion?
oh, not really. But it was just more like they've given those options there, but it's just sort of how they've sort of worded that motion to then put it in. I don't know where they're like it's still up for discussion on that sort of location, but yeah, just seemed a bit weird when they've sort of got two different or 3 different options there.
Yeah, so Councillor Doyle, you moved number 2 and number 3? Yep. So,
I think there's
No,
only
1
2
and 2.
recommendations.
I think there's a little bit of confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So the recommendation,
Yes,
just
to do
just
both,
so
yeah.
everyone's clear, is that you're approving the plaque on the retaining wall
Yeah.
and that you're
Sign.
naming the
Hill.
spectator.
Hill,
Correct.
yeah,
Okay, so not worrying about option one.
Motions that we took,
yeah.
we had
Yeah.
last week have changed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was just the hill was gonna be named after that and the plaque
Yep.
was gonna go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
all.
that's
The,
good.
that's all the
Plaque,
recommendation
a
was.
plaque on the wall,
Wall
and then
and the
the
grand-
hill
the
will
hill.
be named.
and
Yeah.
then the hill will be
Mm.
named, correct.
Righty. No, that's all
Everyone
good
on the
then.
same page?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Rightio. Thank you for that. All those in favour? That one's carried. I'll hand over to Councillor Doyle for the late report, 12.6.
Yep. Recommendation that council approves Mount Isa Pro Rodeo Limited to receive sponsorship for the Mount Isa Rodeo as listed below, subject to provision of all relevant sponsorship criteria documents. Year 1, 2026, $60,000 cash. Year 2, 2027, $60,000 cash. And that council authorises the CEO to approve in-kind venue hire of Buchanan Park for the 2026 Mount Isa Rodeo, up to the value of $48,407.27, and that council authorises the CEO to approve in-kind venue hire of Buchanan Park for the 2027 Mount Isa Rodeo, subject to budget availability, and that council authorises the CEO to delegate an additional allocation of $50,000 annually for ancillary venue costs incurred by council for the 2026 and 2027 Mount Isa rodeos, subject to budget availability.
Thank you, Councillor Doyle.
Done well, Dorley.
I'll
Seconder?
second it.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on that?
On behalf of the radio committee, I'd just like to thank the council, if it gets passed. Thank for all the support throughout the years, and a big thank you for doing the 3-year one, which helps council's budget and also helps the radio budget as well.
No worries. Anyone else? All those in favour? That one is carried. We'll now go on to 13.1. I'll hand over to Councillor Tully. 13.1.
13.1.
Major project overview.
Recommendation that the council receive and notes the April 2026 major projects overview report.
Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Councillor Tully?
The report provides an overview of the project works undertaken for the month of April, but further to the report, I would like to provide some additional updates on projects occurring around the city currently. Works that have commenced on the rural road network for the 2025 flood event restoration work and TIDS programs, with works happening at the moment on the Duchess Road, Barclay, Yelvertoff Road and Moorstone Roads. Line marking was completed yesterday on the new road at the Glider Port, and with the final handover to be completed in the coming days. The Lookout project earthworks are still progressing. Construction on the structures, landscape and walkways will be commencing in mid-June, hopefully finished by rodeo. It's also worth noting that these flood damaged Glider Port Road and Lookout projects are fully grant funded and not funded by the ratepayers.
Thank you, Councillor Tully. Would anyone else like to speak on this item? All those in favour? That one's carried. Hand over to Councillor Tully for 13.2.
That council received and accepts the April 2026 works and operational overview report.
Do I have a seconder?
Ballard.
Councillor Tully?
The report provides a brief summary of the activities undertaken by council works crews during the month of April, but in addition to the works covered, the crews have been: firstly, undertaking works in the Buchanan Park Arena to improve and lower the surface to achieve 1.8 legal height to the top of the railing in preparation for the upcoming Mount Isa Rodeo. Next, work in the CBD to replace damaged tactical markings and maintain irrigation in garden beds and catching up on whippersnipping and excessive wet season growth. Council crews have also commenced earthworks at Soldiers Lane in preparation for the upcoming ceiling and concrete works. I'm also told that in the coming weeks, council crews will be commencing works on the drainage around the sewage treatment ponds, the horse paddock areas and the sewage plant road after the control released releases during the wet season. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on this item? All those in favour? Carried. 13.3, councillor Tully.
A recommendation that the council receive and accept the water and sewerage overview report for April and May 2026.
Seconder?
Seconded.
The report provides a very brief summary of the activities undertaken by council's plumbing crews during the month of April and May to date. Plumbing crews attended 165 leaks throughout Mount Isa during this period. Crews are also attended Camberwell addressing leaks, undertaking inspections and replacing water mains to help support the community in Camberwell. Approximately 700 metres of sewer relining was undertaken along East Street, with further works to be undertaken. Significant maintenance works undertaken at the sewage treatment plant now that the wet season is finalised, and crews can access this area and will work in with the work and construction crews will be undertaking around the horse paddock shortly.
Thank you, councillor Tully. Would anyone else like to speak on that issue? All those in favour? It's carried. 13.4, I'll hand over to councillor Ballard.
I'd like to recommend that council award contract MICC 2025-45 MICC landfill compactor to Tut Bryant Equipment Pty Limited to the value of $1,275,000 excluding GST plus registration fees, and B, delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate, finalise and enter into contract.
Thank you.
Seconded, Tully.
Anyone else like to speak on this issue?
Just like to say that a great deal of time and effort went into making the decision as to which piece of equipment to go with. I'd like to thank everyone that's involved in the Strategic Fleet Advisory Committee. I went to say Management Committee, that's not true. Advisory Committee. That committee was established last year. Myself and Councillor Tully are on that, and generally speaking, I think it's a good committee, and this outcome is a really good one. I'm very comfortable endorsing the purchase of this compactor.
Thanks, councillor Ballard. Would anyone else like to speak on this item? All those in favour? That's carried. We now go into general business, and I'll go around the room, but I'm going to start with councillor Coghlan.
Well, that's not the way it normally.
I'm in charge.
Bit of power. No, thanks, Deputy Mayor. I'd just like to say that the Critical Minerals Lunch was a great networking opportunity, and there were a few really promising projects that were spoken about. I look forward to them. I think they could really be of enormous benefit to Mount Isa. There's been several events that have been going on. It's great to see, and a congratulations to the Silver Spurs girls. They came to us looking for an opportunity, and this was thrown at them, and in a very short period of time they were able to pull it together. And I think it shows that when people are given a chance, they can come through with the goods. I was a little bit embarrassed at the lunch because I asked the bloke beside me when Will Dutton was going to speak, the main speaker, and then he introduced me to Will, who was sitting beside him. But that was pretty good because I got to talking to him, and then I was further embarrassed when he said he'd been talking to council for 6 months and I didn't know who he was. But I had two people from New York and another one from Melbourne there, and it was really a great time to be able to sit and talk with them, because being in the mining industry, having worked in that industry and so forth, was able to help them with some contacts and a bit of the lay of the land. So was really, really thankful for being sat at that table. I spoke to the CEO about this, and he's implemented a way now of trying to keep us in touch with who we're talking with and so forth. So we know. Free plant day on Saturday. So if you've registered, go down and grab your free plant. If you haven't registered, go down anyway, because there's plenty of other stuff going on, and there's always 1 or 2 plants left over. So, you know, you can be like me and go and get your plant this year and kill it. By the time next year comes around, get another one. I'd also like to congratulate Luke Bartolo. Julie and Davey, been long-time servants of Mount Isa, both hard workers, been involved in a number of sports in Mount Isa, and Luke and Kyle really threw themselves into all sorts of sports. Luke has just returned from India, where they sent the first Australian under-18 team for hockey for a 4-match tour. And that the players in that team, they've been identified as the talent heading towards the 2032 Olympic Games in Brisbane. So it would be fantastic to have someone from Mount Isa at those games, and there's a couple of others who are in that sphere as well. And Dan's mentioned Yasmin Wildhill. 2032 will be her prime. Sienna Hume in athletics, who came from Mount Isa, she's in the picture as well. So Luke's at uni, and it's a great example of how when our juniors leave here to pursue opportunities, they thrive because of the grounding they get here in Mount Isa. And you can use Cohen Hess, Darcy Ryder, Charlie Cameron, Sullivan sisters. They're just a few, to name a few, who were juniors here and then made a name for themselves when they left. And I think one reason people throw up not to move to Mount Isa is because of lack of opportunities for their children. And I think the success of those mentioned and many more negates that. I think you get a great grounding out in the country because you can play more sports, and they seem more adaptable. And I got interviewed last night for an article, and one of the questions was, what were the challenges growing up? And I said, when you played sport out here, to make a representative team on the coast, like North Queensland and so forth, you had to be so much better than them because they look for any excuse to keep us out. So it made you actually perform better. So I think it reinforces how important it is that we do what we can to assist our sporting and social organisations.
Thank you, Councillor Coghlan. Councillor Tully?
Just a couple of quick ones. Can the council, I'd like to see the council send a letter to the new servo, Solo, and just like when we got a private enterprise doing a job like they've completed up there, I think it's a great benefit to the town. It's always seems to be local government or state or federal to do it, you know. So when we get private enterprise, I think we should support it and just show our appreciation to it. And the third one is the next one is fuel. Because this exercise is going, can council make sure we're totally full before that does happen? You know, because I mean, we just don't know whether it's going to stay in or not with the exercise with our supply.
I think the director will take that on board. Councillor Crowther?
Just obviously a few things coming up with events around the city, so for all the public to get out there and support those events, because obviously the more we get out there, the more they sort of thrive and we get some more events. The guys out back at Isa, they're doing a great job at the moment. They're sort of doing a bit of revitalisation of the place, some new events. You'll see their social media. Got some great sort of different meals happening, so get along and support them. We've got, as mentioned, the free plant day, as well as sort of a lot of other events. We've got the Mount Isa Golf Open happening soon as well. So we've got all these things happening, and we've got to be able to get out there and support them. Like we said, with tourism going to be down, the way these other businesses are going to benefit is from the local public getting out there and supporting them. So that's about it.
Thank you. I'll now hand over to our State of Origin legend, John Doyle.
Queenslander.
Yeah, well, everyone watched the game tonight, watched the Queensland kick Blues ass. But also, I just want to speak on this week on Sorry Day and Reconciliation Week. And I said it this morning and I had a speech on a personal note. For me, Sorry Day, it's the easiest way to think of it is when my dad died, people said sorry for his death. Now, they didn't kill him, but they were empathetic and sympathetic. All right, so that's kind of what Sorry Day is. It's about being empathetic and sympathetic to the atrocities and the things that happened in the past. It's not pointing a finger and saying that you personally literally killed them or killed us or whatever it may be. But let's just get on with that and move on and think, well, you know, a bit of empathy, you know, goes a long way, and a bit of sympathy goes a long way for any culture, any person. And the reconciliation means a lot to me because my father was a police liaison officer for 20 years. He was the first one selected in Rockhampton, and he fought tooth and nail to try and mend the bridges and all that sort of stuff for all peoples. And to show why it means the world to us is that when he died, the police did a marching band, a street parade, did the full works, what they do for police officers. They did that for my father. But we did the Aboriginal flag and the smoke ceremony and didgeridoo and stuff like that. But my grandmother, his mother, was so terrified of having the Aboriginal flag and having anything to do with Aboriginal culture and tradition at his funeral for fear of what she went through when she was younger. So that just, to me, shows that, you know, why reconciliation is so important. We need to get out there and make sure we're reconciling with each other and with our own biases or opinions or whatever else, and just work together. Mount Isa is very diverse, and we nearly have a 50-50 in terms of population with Indigenous and non-Indigenous, so it probably means a lot more here than most places because of that reason, because we are 50-50. So we need to really get out there and stop looking at any other rubbish other than just, you know, we're people here at Mount Isa, we're community members, and we're trying to make community Mount Isa better. So I just want to see everybody just say hello to someone, smile. It's not hard, it's easy. My wife gets up at me for doing it because I say hello to everyone, I smile to everyone. And my reasoning for that is you never know what that person's going through in that time, and your smile, your hello might be just enough to pull them back off the bridge. So that's why I do it all the time. And I'll do it to any colour, race, nationality, age, whatever, gender. So yeah, I just want to see that this week, and forever, honestly. But just everybody, just get on and, you know, work to make Mount Isa better. Yeah, and then go Queensland.
Good words. Councillor Ballard?
Thank you. Firstly, I'd just like to say I don't really appreciate the restructure of this. I think we should stick to the tried and true format. That said, it probably speaks to just how much there is to do in the Northwest this time of year when I'm able to touch on a few things as the last person that still haven't been mentioned. So it's the time of year when the Northwest really comes to life, and there won't be any better example of that than the Mount Isa Cup the weekend after next. It's one of the Mount Isa Race Club's 4 big days. That race club is driven by volunteers giving up a great deal of their time, not myself included, but you know, Kieran and Jay and those sorts of guys, they put a lot into it. It's always a great day, so I'd strongly encourage everyone to go out and enjoy some beautiful weather and a great display of racing in the region. Outback Sounds, we had that between the last ordinary meeting and today. I didn't vote for council to support that event, but with the benefit of retrospect, I'd like to congratulate the councillors that did throw their support behind that event. It was very well supported, and I thought it was a credit to all involved in putting it on. So congratulations, well done, and yeah, look forward to that becoming an event every year that people look forward to. It has been mentioned that Free Plant Day is coming up this weekend. Congratulations to all the people that put all the hours of work into putting that event on. It's well supported, and it's a real credit to all involved. I'd like to circle back to Councillor Coughlan's comments earlier about not only Luke Bartolo's achievements, but how a lot of the kids from Mount Isa in the Northwest have gone on to acquit themselves so well when given the opportunity to step into large arenas. And I think the Mount Isa community is very lucky to have James and Kim as strong. The Mount Isa sporting community is very lucky to have James and Kim as strong advocates for those clubs and those interests in this chamber. So I just want to highlight the amount of work and advocacy that gets put in by those two in particular. It's something that they're very passionate about, and their contribution can't be overstated. Me, myself, my sporting abilities can really be summed up in one. I got home from cricket when I was about 12 or 13. My granddad asked me how it went, and I said, "Poppy, it was another day, another duck." So there's a very good reason why the sporting community doesn't need someone like me pushing their case. As Councillor Tully mentioned, we've got the new service station open. I think it's wonderful to see private enterprise making such investments in our community, and I think we should all take a lot of heart from that. That there's confidence out there. There's people that are willing to put their money where their mouth is, and I think the future for our community is looking particularly bright. And lastly, I just wanted to highlight the council will have a special meeting on the 17th of June to adopt our upcoming budget. It's important to acknowledge the amount of work that goes into that process each year, and councillors have already spent a significant amount of time working through the budget. It's not an easy task to try and balance a lot of competing priorities, and there's a lot of difficult decisions to be made, but I think that we've done the best we can in the current circumstances, and certainly I'd like to thank all the councillors and the council officers for the time and effort that they've put into that.
Thank you, Councillor Ballard. I'd like to move to item 15, consideration of confidential business items. I'd like to recommend that council considers the confidential reports listed below in a meeting closed to the public in accordance with section 254J of the Local Government Regulation 2012. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 254J-F of the Local Government Regulation, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with matters that may directly affect the health and safety of an individual or a group of individuals. 15.1, Microfinance Overview Report, April 2026. That council considers the confidential reports listed below in a meeting closed to the public in accordance with section 254J of the Local Government Regulation 2012. 15.2, concession requests, overdue rates or charges. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 254J-G of the Local Government Regulation, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with negotiations relating to a commercial matter involving the local government for which a public discussion would be likely to prejudice the interests of the local government. 15.3, concession requests, financial hardship. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 254J-D of the Local Government Regulation, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with the rating concessions. 15.4, biosecurity special rate charge, acquittal for financial year 2025-2026. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 254J-D of the Local Government Regulation, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with rating concessions. 15.5, Audit and Risk Management Committee, appointment of independent member. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 254J-D of the Local Government Regulation, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with the rating concessions. Can I have a seconder, please?
Seconder Tully.
So the Yep. Okay. Yep. All those in favour? That's carried. I'd like to move a motion that council moves out of closed council into open council. Can I have a seconder, please?
Ballard.
Ballard. Go to 15.1. Do I
Hang
have a
on,
mover?
You have to vote on it.
Oh, all those in favour? Wrong every time.
Do your job properly.
15.1.
Just note, Deputy Mayor, the Mayor is
Correct. Thank you very much, Mr CEO. The Mayor has gone offline for this part of the meeting. If we could have that noted, please. Do I have a mover for 15.1?
I'll just move that council receives and accepts the April 2026 MyCo Finance Overview Report as presented.
Seconder?
Second, Tully.
All those in favour? Carried. 15.2, councillor Ballard.
Recommend that Lot 9 on CP MPH 7941, the council involves to decline to grant a concession to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 by way of an agreement to defer payment of the overdue rates and charges levied on Lot 9 of CP MPH 7941. Lot 60 on CP MPH 13991. That council resolves to decline to grant a concession to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 by way of an agreement to defer payment of the overdue rates and charges levied on Lot 60 on CP MPH 13991. Lot 21 on CP MPH 22027, that council resolves to decline to grant a concession to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 by way of an agreement to defer payment of the overdue rates and charges levied on Lot 21 of CP MPH 22027. Lot 87 on CP MPH 13990. That council resolves to decline to grant concession to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 by way of an agreement to defer payment of the overdue rates and charges levied on Lot 87 on CP MPH 13990. Lot 17 on CP MPH 22110. That council resolves to decline to grant a concession to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 by way of an agreement to defer payment of the overdue rates and charges levied on Lot 17 on CP MPH 22110.
Do I have a seconder for that one?
I'll second it.
All those in favour?
Thanks, Dan.
That's carried.
Well done, Dan.
15.3, councillor Ballard.
Recommend that council resolves to decline to grant a concession to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 by way of a waiver of the water consumption charges levied on Lot 84 MPH 22129, and that council resolves to grant an extended payment commitment to the applicant under sections 121D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 of $50 per fortnight for 24 months end. The council resolves to waive and hold interest applied to the utility billing account 211272212 under sections 120, 1D and 121B of the Local Government Regulation 2012 until the debt is paid in full.
Seconder?
Councillor Coghlan.
All those in favour? 15.4, biosecurity special rate charge, acquittal for financial year 25-26. Councillor Coghlan.
I'd like to recommend that council approve the use of the biosecurity special rate charge in the 2025-26 financial year as detailed in this report.
Seconder?
Second, Tully.
All those in favour? That's carried. 15.5, Audit and Risk Management Committee, councillor Ballard.
I'd like to recommend that council appoint Ms Karen Prentice to the position of independent member of the Audit and Risk Management Committee for the remainder of this council term, after which time she will be eligible for an extension for a further term following a formal performance review.
Seconder?
Second, Tully.
All those in favour? That's carried. There being no further agenda items, the time is 11:11, and I now declare this ordinary meeting of council closed.